So Rado did a video this morning where he talked about the top 10 games that he wanted to play more of, and he talked about the fact that he's doing demos all the time and he's doing videos for new games all the time, and he doesn't get to play some games very often. I kind of have the same problem, but I want to talk about it from a different perspective. Now, I don't do all the reviews as he does online, but I do teaching of games and demoing in games, and I do reviews as well. And I play games 2 or 3 days a week. I have a full-time job, so I can't spend every minute playing games. And even then, there are games I just want to play or haven't played, games I've played but I want to play again, or alternatively, games I want to play that I haven't had the chance to yet, and because there's just too much out there. And I think one of the things we have to realize in today's gaming environment, particularly with the way Kickstarter is coming out now, I mean, I go into Kickstarter and I'll say, oh, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good, and I'll realize suddenly I've got 10 games coming in the next 4 months, and I'm never going to have time to play some of them. So I hate to say there are too many good games coming out, but there are just so many good games coming out that are so interesting. Now, the other side of that is that there are also bad games that come out. I picked up a copy of a game the other day off the shelf. It looked kind of interesting. I thought the theme looked, I'm a big theme guy. I thought the theme looked interesting, and it was a mess. It wasn't as bad as some other games I've played in the past, but the game wasn't fun. The theme wasn't particularly interesting. It was poorly constructed. The components were fine. The cards were fine and all that. It's just like, you know what? I got done and I said, you know what? I kind of want my 30 minutes back. Which is really sad to think that I could have spent 30 minutes playing something else and had a really good time, but instead I played this kind of mediocre game. But there's just so many good games out there, and I mean, I kind of think about in my house, and we live in a townhome, and we've got a linen closet that I have dedicated towards games. And the rule is that when the closet fills, if I buy a new game, an old game has to come out, and I give it away to somebody or sell it or whatever, and put a new one in, and it's constantly full. And I went in there last night and I looked at it and I said, there are games here some games that I haven't played yet that I desperately want to play. The really tragic one on that list is Pandemic Legacy. I just have not had the time to sit down and found the 4 players to sit down with and play Pandemic Legacy. It was a gift from my Secret Santa at Board Game Geek last year. They bought me a series of games. They were really, really generous. And I've played all of them, and I love all of them. There was Dead of Winter, and there was Lords of Waterdeep, and there was Pandemic. I was blown away by what they gave me. And Pandemic was kind of the number one. I was like, wow, I finally got Pandemic Legacy. And it sits untapped because I've not had the time to sit down for the 18 or so sessions with 4 other people and play it. And along with those lines, another game which kind of has gone untapped, I played it by myself in solo mode but not with others, is, interestingly, a related game, Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds is also by Matt Leacock. It is essentially Pandemic but in the Thunderbirds Are Go universe. And so I've played it in a solo mode just to see what it was like and play with it. It's fun. If you like you got to be really into Thunderbirds, but I haven't ever played it with anybody because, again, I haven't found the right people to play it with, and I just haven't had the time to play it with. Other games, which I've played, but have not, I just want to play more. Viticulture. I adore Viticulture. I've got Viticulture and I've got Tuscany, and it is my favorite, I think it's right now, my favorite worker placement game. And I played it the 4th of July. I was at a party and we played it the 4th of July. I have not played it since then, so it's been almost 2 months since I played Viticulture, and it's such a beautiful game. Stockpile. I actually did a review of that this morning. I was going through my list of games saying, oh, well, what haven't I reviewed yet? And Stockpile came up, and I realized it's been a long time since I played Stockpile. And again, a game I really like. It's an auction-style game. It's easy to learn. It's fun. With the expansion, Continuing Corruption came out, and I did play with Continuing Corruption. I played one game with Continuing Corruption, but just not playing that game enough. Doomtown Reloaded. I'm typically not a big Take That or a LCG player, but again, have not had the chance to play it in a while. I played it a while ago, but it seems like I'm not playing it enough. Other games which I don't get to play enough, Red Dragon Inn. Did I play it the other day? I ended up not playing it the other day. So I went to a gaming day at a friend's house. They said, bring Red Dragon in. Now, I have Red Dragon in and all the expansions, which means it is huge and it is heavy. I've also taken the coins and replaced them with Mardi Gras coins. So it's in that big box, what they call the character trove. I've got all the characters. I've got coins. It was designed by a set of friends of mine. I really like the game. Again, 2 or 3 months and I haven't played it. There are games on my shelf that I go back and I look and I said, wow, it has been so long since I played this game. I should probably give it to somebody. I said, but I adore the game. So, what's the story? Is that there are just tons and tons of really good games out there, and there are new ones coming out all the time. I mean, I was looking, Pandemic Cthulhu, Reign of Cthulhu. I just saw a couple of reviews from it, and looks really interesting. It's high on my list. Near and Far is coming out. What else has been coming out? There's a whole. I got In the Name of Odin. I did get to play it twice, actually 3 times. It's a really good game. Raiders of the North Sea is coming out pretty soon, and so I've got that one as well. What else have I got coming up on my list? Hang on here. There's so many good games. Fields of Green is just finishing up its Kickstarter. Castle Assault. I've got Castle Assault. It's a 2-player kind of combat, not a deck builder, but a resource management game. I don't know how to call it a resource management. I guess it is kind of a deck builder game. They just came out with. They're about to come out with their expansion. There's that one. Mistfall. Have yet to play Mistfall. Sitting on my shelf. Let's see. Ophidian 2350. Have it. Been playing it fairly often, but not a ton. What else is coming out? Opulent, Beer Garden, Tiny Epic Western is supposed to be out the next couple weeks. Role Player. That's it. Those are the ones that are coming out right now. And there are also some RPGs like the Chill Save book and stuff, but I haven't played an RPG in ages. I have 4 RPGs sitting in my stack that I have the rules for and I have yet to run. And it's kind of tragic. So, what's the story here? Way too many good games, which I guess is kind of a good thing. It keeps things fresh, but this renaissance of the gaming industry kind of reminds me of, I was reminded of when I was much, much younger. It would have been like 1979, 1980 with Steve Jackson Games with all the micro games that were coming out. Now it's kind of funny, I just thought about that a little bit, which is, I remember the days of Ogre, GEV, Melee and Wizard and the Fantasy Trip, Car Wars, Illuminati, all those kind of mini micro games. Now those were all by Steve Jackson Games, but there were a whole bunch of other companies that did them as well. I mean, there was The Creature That Ate Sheboygan, there was, I think it was called Intruder, which was essentially you had an alien that was on a spaceship and you had to run away from the alien or try to kill the alien, a small map game kind of thing. Those were games of my childhood, and I remember how every week there would be a new one coming out, and we'd all go out. It would cost you like, and this is where I thought about it. I said, yeah, so I go out today and I buy a copy of, say, a given board game, and $50 easy, $100 if it's really expensive. Micro games in 1979, $3, $5, maybe. I think they might get as much as if they had figures with it, $10. So, yeah, I mean, so it seemed like in the 80s, and it may just be that I wasn't gaming a lot in the 80s. I was in college and I was starting my own business, but it seemed, and business in the 90s. It seems like from about like maybe 1985 or so on through almost like 2005, there's like this 20-year span. Now, you had things like Magic the Gathering, and there are a whole bunch of collector card games, but I just don't seem to recall a lot of tabletop board games coming out in that time frame. But I'll tell you, particularly with the way Kickstarter is running these days, it just seems like, and the various other funding ones, I do a lot of Kickstarter, I know there's Indiegogo and other stuff as well, but there just seems to be a lot of stuff coming out, and I'm sitting here saying, I want to play them all. How do you play them all? Don't have time. So, fortunately, I'm getting close to retirement, so when the retirement time happens, I will go out and I'll buy one of those gaming tables, set it up, and I'll play. So, just kind of my thoughts to Rado's games he wanted to play more. I think it's not just games I played that I want to play more. There are just so many good games out there. Have a good day.